Okay, super friends, show of hands from those of you at home watching this who often find yourself dissatisfied with the head sculpts of some of our favorite action figures. Pick me, pick me! How many times have you been less than impressed by the finished result head sculpt that made its way to the general public in comparison to the prototype shots that we've seen revealed at various conventions?
This guy right here!
That's not to say that they're all bad, but there are definitely times when a figure is released that is otherwise a pretty fantastic looking figure, but then we come to the face sculpt and it's lacking. We wish it were better. Well, that's what this video is about. The first custom head cast maker I want to showcase is 1/12 Custom. That fella does absolutely immaculate, fantastic work. And I've managed to procure from him a Batman and a Jack Nicholson Joker head. The Batman head is actually a shrunken down recast of the Metacom Thomas Wayne Flashpoint Batman face. And the Joker, I don't know where that came from. I do know there's a massive hole in the collector market for that head sculpt because we've never been given a 6 or 7 inch scale Jack Nicholson Joker figure. His work on this Batman face is absolutely fantastic. Right now I've got it on my Mezco 1/12 Collective Batman, but I'm sure that it would fit on pretty much any 6 inch, even 7 inch scale Batman figure and look fantastic. I love his work. He was super awesome to deal with, and I highly recommend going through his Instagram page and DMing him if you have any questions, because he was a real joy to work with. So check him out on Instagram if you appreciate what you're seeing here, and maybe he'll be able to help you out. Now, I got a different casting of the same head sculpt, and it's slightly bigger, from an eBay seller based in China called Figureski. The first one that I bought actually was painted incorrectly. There was pink flesh color on the very bottom rim of his mask, where that should have been painted black, but they didn't know any better and they just thought it was flesh. And so when I got the head sculpt home, I tried to cover up the flesh color myself with a paintbrush, and I suck. But me being who I am, I decided to order a second one. This time around, I asked him to paint the previously incorrectly painted flesh tone under the eyes black and leave off the 5 o'clock shadow because I wanted a clean-shaven Batman this time. And they said they'd try their best, and as you can see, they did a fantastic job. This head sculpt only ever had one destination, and that was to replace the oh so weensy tiny one that came on top of the McFarlane Toys Detective Comics issue 1000 figure. With a new cape and a new head, the figure looks about a zillion times better. Why? Because the head's the focal point of the figure. Now, if only he didn't have pipe cleaner arms. The next two heads come from my final custom head supplier, and that's an eBay seller that some of you may be familiar with called GPS Lot. From these folks, I managed to get my hands on a Henry Cavill Man of Steel head, neck, and hands kit, as well as an Old Man Soups with the gray sideburns. Both of these look really fantastic. I bought the ones to replace Henry Cavill's neck, head, and hands because I never liked the skin tone, and I just feel like the facial paint details really didn't scream Cavill. Maybe this one isn't perfect either, but it's definitely better. In my opinion, it improves the figure 1000%, and it takes this figure from being a 70 for me right up to it being a 95. It wasn't cheap. I had to bid on it, and I had to bid on many heads until I got one for a price that I figured was reasonable, but it wasn't cheap. And then the final head sculpt, clearly inspired by, but not intended to look exactly like, Alex Ross's Kingdom Come Earth 22 Superman, looks really stunning as well. It looks fantastic when you pop it on a multiverse Kingdom Come Superman body, but you can also fit this one on a Mezco 1/12 Collective, although I will warn you, the neck will be just a tad too wide and tree trunkish for the head itself. For the record, I didn't get the head because I thought that the Alex Ross inspired head sculpt that came on the multiverse one wasn't good enough. I just wanted options. I wanted variety. Now, much like the previous Superman head sculpt that I mentioned based on Henry Cavill's likeness, this one wasn't cheap either. I had to watch eBay like a hawk because they consistently list these, and as soon as the auction went to a point where I was unwilling to pay that much, I would stop bidding. And I probably bid on about 5 of these before I actually won one for my desired bidding price. You could just buy one outright, but it's not cheap. I would take your chances and just keep bidding. Anyhow, super friends, thank you so much for tuning in and watching today. That's all I have for you. I really just wanted to share these fantastic head sculpts with you, and feel free to check out any of the links down below. Also, if you're somebody who is a supporter of this channel and you feel like helping me out financially so that I can continue to bring you fantastic content that hopefully you're enjoying and that I really like making for you, feel free to buy a t-shirt. I got the t-shirt store right down below every single video. If there's something there that tickles your fancy, a t-shirt or a hoodie, it'll help me out a lot. Anyway, guys, have a DC day and take care.